Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, definitely come check us out. We definitely love to have you. That community was put together specifically for coaches, consultants, and service providers who are serious about getting up to that 6 and that 7-figure level. So if that's you, definitely come check us out. Now, today, I want to introduce you to one of the members of our community, Ash. Welcome, Ash.
Yes. Thank you, Extus. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. You're welcome. So tell myself and the community, what is it that you do?
Well, professionally, business-wise, I am a procrastination coach, which means pretty much what it says. I help people overcome procrastination so that they can spend that time freed up to actually start working on all of the dreams and ambitions that are sidetracked because of this habit.
Hmm. Awesome. So what got you started on this path in helping people overcome procrastination?
Well, it's actually been a really long journey because actually it's been the same with a lot of my clients as well. Um, so I've kind of been procrastinating. I've had been procrastinating since childhood, pretty much all throughout school. So assignments last minute. I guess that's pretty common for most students. But it really got bad when I was in college because I suddenly left home. So I didn't have that support and someone getting after me to do my work. I had a lot of freedom and I didn't have the skills to really make the best use of that freedom. So I wasted a lot of time procrastinating. And that time, I guess in college, the way I would procrastinate was mostly watching movies, which is just a pretty big waste of time. So it really started kind of hurting when I started questioning what it is that I really want to do with my life. Um, and when you kind of have this dream that you want to work towards and you have a habit that is just holding you back from working on that dream, you kind of feel like life is slipping away and you're just helplessly watching. So that I reached that point where I was feeling like that once I was out of college. So after 3 years, which is after 3 years of uh, graduating from school. And at that time, luckily, a really close friend of mine told me about life coaching. I found that topic really fascinating. And the number one reason for that was because it involves a lot of listening. So I'd never really heard of listening as and asking questions as being a career, a possible career, and that was so fascinating for me. So that's when I decided to become a life coach, but I really niched in about a year back into procrastination because I figured that that people are more attracted to your services or to what you're offering when they can really connect with exactly what you're offering. And I had initially decided habit coaching, but I decided to niche in further into procrastination because at that time things had really started working for me because I had started finding some habit tweaks that help you get out of procrastination. So that's how I ended up being a procrastination coach.
Awesome, awesome. So it seems like you went through the phase of being a master procrastinator.
Yes,
And then
massive, yeah.
and now you kind of solved that problem for yourself and now you help others, which I think is pretty fascinating. By the way, before we move on, what's that thing behind you or on the side of you there? Is that something you drew?
No, that's not. I am into art, but it's not something I drew at. It's just something I found in my mom's cupboard, and I
Mhm.
stole it from her. Yeah.
What is it? What is it? It's like a Yeah, what is it? Do you know what it is?
I actually have no idea. So I thought maybe it's that thing that you put at the end of the bed.
Hmm.
So hotels put that. But that doesn't really make sense to me, and I just thought it looked better on the wall.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I've been drawing as well. So I've been the whole
Oh,
what do they call these things? Sacred geometry and stuff like that. I've been
oh,
drawing
okay,
some of
yeah.
that, and that kind of it had a slight resemblance to it. So I was just wondering
Yes.
if it was.
I get what you mean because that sacred geometry concept is there in India as well,
Hmm.
in the ancient scriptures. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever done any research into sacred geometry?
Not deep. I don't know if you've heard of the Sri Yantra, but I've just researched very superficially on that. I haven't gone deep, but it's definitely a fascinating topic. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. So in essence, so with your business as far as being a procrastination coach, I guess what excites you about going down that path and doing this?
Oh, that's a lovely question. What excites me is just when I work with my clients, they usually come with this whole feeling of not living up to their full potential. And then you sort of see them blossom into these, I wouldn't say high achieving, but I'd say, people who have dreams and they go for it. So when you see that you are a part of that journey, that transformation is just like nothing else you can ever, go through or experience.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's such a fascinating thing with coaching and just helping others when you could come from a
Yeah,
place of figuring out something yourself and then going out and sharing some ideas, sharing what's helped you and seeing other people taking that same
exactly.
thing and getting results. It's just like an unbelievable feeling, right?
Yeah, it is. And that feeling doesn't really die down. It just, with every client you help, it just kind of, it's always there, that feeling.
Hmm. Awesome. Good, good. So what would you say is why do people procrastinate? What's the underlying reason as far as why people procrastinate?
So there are a few top reasons. I'd say one of the top reasons is actually just lack of clarity on your next steps. So if you have this huge task that you need to do, it's really overwhelming for a lot of people, um, because they just have no idea how to tackle that task. They have no idea what the exact next steps would be. So they just keep putting it off and don't deal with it. Another reason is fear of failure. So if there's something that's really important to you that you want to achieve, um, and you're scared of failing, you will just keep putting it off so that you don't ever have to face that feeling of failing.
Hmm. Okay, good, good. And as you've been on your journey right now, right? Because I know that starting a business and saying, okay, I'm going to do this full time, were you pretty confident that this is gonna what you're gonna do, or was there some type of fear? Because I know most individuals who do want to get into coaching and consulting, especially with helping other people maybe solve a problem they figured out. Most of them are like, well, I don't know if I could get clients, or I don't know if I could get paid for that, or all those different things. Did you have that objection for yourself when you were getting started, or was it just like you just knew that you could do this and it was just going to work?
Well, I 100% went through a phase of really doubting what I was doing. Um, um, I think I had a bit of a journey with figuring out my niche. So, as I told you, I started off being a life coach. It was too vague. I'm in India, and life coaching is not that prevalent career. So, I really had to explain to people all of the time what life coaching is. But now when I tell someone I'm a procrastination coach, they just immediately get it. I don't even have to explain it much. um, But yeah, I was saying that I've had a bit of a journey with the niche. Then I decided to become a habit coach because um, a really close friend of mine said it's a really good niche, and I started researching habit sciences. They made a lot of sense to me, and then I started kind of applying those in the most important habit or the most crucial habit I wanted to change, which was procrastination, and they worked like a charm. But I definitely wasn't sure if people are going to pay for it. So I am sure now. I'm 100% sure about that. But what helped me clear that doubt was definitely posting a lot in Facebook groups. Just taking people's opinions, taking polls helped a ton. So I took a lot of polls on what niche people would pay for the most. And for some reason, I think people really love participating in a poll. It's just so easy to answer. And also, you kind of give your opinion, and everyone loves giving their opinion. So I'd say, yeah, polls really helped me get clear on my niche.
Hmm. Awesome. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. What about clients wise? Are your clients typically local clients or are they global? What does it look like for you?
Um, so I don't have even one client from India. Most of them are from US and from Europe.
Hmm.
Actually, all of them are from US and Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's a really cool stuff, right? As far as being all the way in I know for myself, the first clients I had, because I'm in the US, and my first clients, they were actually in the UK, and I got them
Mm-hmm.
online. And I was like, that's so cool to where I'm in the US, they're in
Yes,
the
it
UK,
is.
and you can work with people from all over the world. Like you've never really met.
Yeah.
It's some cool stuff, right?
Yeah, and you learn so much about other cultures without ever having to leave your home. I mean, I do want to travel, but this is a great way to, initially get familiar with different cultures.
Yeah, definitely. Before this interview here, I think I've done maybe four before hours today. And
Mm-hmm.
the first person, they were in the UK. The second person, they were in Australia. The third
Yeah.
person, I think they were like in Romania. And you're in India. So it's like I've just traveled all around the world without leaving my house, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Awesome. So what are you seeing in terms of I guess books. Are you pretty big into books? Listen to books or listen to books, reading books, listen to podcasts, and all those different things.
Yes, I kind of recently got into that. I love reading books, but I've always read fiction books throughout
Mhm.
my life. But the one non-fiction book that I really love, I can read that 1,000 times over in one day if I ever feel the need to. But that's called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Mhm.
It's just the most brilliant book written on habits that I have read so far.
Yeah. What's the premise of that book?
So, in a nutshell, the whole concept is building your habits in the tiniest steps possible. In a nutshell, atomic habits, tiny habits, so that they last for as long as you want them to last. So, for example, suppose someone wants to start exercising, they get up at 5 in the morning, all of a sudden. They do an hour of exercise, and then the next day they're like, okay, I'm never doing that again. So, what Atomic Habits teaches you is to kind of start small and start at a level where you feel like repeating it again the next day.
Hmm. Okay, cool. And who's the author? Who's the author of that book?
James Clear.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember. I'm not sure if it's that same guy, but I remember watching a YouTube video. Um, some guy, but he was talking about the same thing, habits as well too. I was living back in California, and whenever I went for my walks out there, I forgot his name, but his whole thing was like tiny habits. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if it's the same guy, but that premise as far as when you build habits, instead of trying to say, I've never run a marathon before, but let me go out today and I'll go run 2 marathons. And then you get halfway, you're like, whoa, I'm never working out again. So instead
Yes,
of taking that approach,
exactly.
yeah, start off with just a tiny little thing and then doing it and then rewarding yourself and then doing it over and over and over again until they just become habits. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
fascinating. Love it.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Rewarding yourself is a really crucial part of habit building.
mhm.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. So what about do you have a podcast or what are you do you have a podcast? I thought do you have one?
No, I don't have a podcast. I have a website.
Okay. Are you thinking about starting a podcast?
Well, maybe I think it's a lot of people have been listening to podcasts. I think it's a kind of an increasing trend towards listening to podcasts. So I might in the future,
Mhm.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So what about what's next for you? What are you working on at the moment?
Well, professionally, I'm just kind of working on, I'd say, visibility. And I saw your webinar, and what really spoke to me was when you said, let me get your words as close to what you said as possible. You said focusing on getting your next client versus building a successful business. That it sounds simple, but it just blew my mind, and that's actually what I have been focusing on since I heard your webinar, is just building a successful business. For me, that's short term versus long term, and finite game versus infinite game, if you've ever heard Simon Sinek. um, so yeah, that's I've been focusing on getting the basics right, so that I have a long-term business. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And that's so powerful as well too. I definitely believe that. I know for myself, when I first got started, I was always chasing the next clients and I never made it. It's almost like I got a client,
Yes.
but money was always going out faster than it's coming in
Yeah.
until I learned, no, 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 you need a real business. You gotta figure out how business works and set one up. That's
Exactly.
gonna make everything work, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So in essence, what's that vision that you have for your clients, the individuals that you work with? What is that vision for them that you hold?
Really, just getting them back to. I'm thinking of the right word here. To individuals who have dreams and who can go after them
Hmm.
without thinking, okay, I'll probably fail, or I'll give this up halfway, I've never got anything done. Just dumping all of those blocks, all of those thoughts to one side, but also being equipped with proper techniques to work on their dreams. So not just kind of rubbishing away those thoughts, but also having tools that will actually get you to whatever your dream or your ambition is.
Hmm. Okay, good. What about so you're in India, right?
Yes.
How is India? Is it hot there right now?
No, actually, it's really pleasant. So are you familiar with Delhi and Bombay? That's
I've heard of
places
them, but I'm
most
not too
people.
sure
Yeah.
locations or distances or any of that stuff.
Yeah, so easy to say. I'm kind of in the center of India. It's a state called Madhya Pradesh, which can be literally translated to mean central state.
Hmm.
So I'm right in the center, and it's really pleasant here. It's actually monsoon, so all the peacocks are dancing, trying to look for mates, and it's really nice. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I actually have a friend. Yeah, she's traveling to India, I think in October or something, October, November. And she's like, you got to buy a
Mm.
ticket to come back there. And I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't know
Yeah.
yet. Yeah. So, but India sounds like it sounds awesome. I recently got into meditating and doing all of those different processes. So it's a lot of the people I follow, they are from India. Do you meditate at all as
Huh.
well? Are you into
Yes,
meditation?
I do. Yes.
Hmm. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I guess the final question I have is, what's that ideal person? Are you working with more entrepreneurs, um, or just regular individuals? Who's that ideal client for you?
Okay. So the ideal client for me would be someone who is deeply connected to nature, just because I connect with those people more. It's easier for me to relate to them. Um, I work with females only just because I've been in a boarding school, a girls' boarding school, so I can just understand women a lot better. Um, so female, nature oriented, and a good balance between spiritual and logical. So by spiritual I do not at all mean religious. By spiritual I just mean people who are maybe into meditation and are aware of that world a little bit.
Hmm. Okay, good. And what's the best way if someone wants to take the next step with you on to find out more? What's the best way for them to be able to reach out and connect?
So they can either visit my website or my Instagram. I also have a lot of freebies that you can download on my website, just so you get a taste of, what it will be like working with me.
Hmm. What's the name of your website?
www.theendofprocrastination.com.
Oh, nice. Pretty good domain right there. Okay, good. And you said you also have a YouTube channel?
No, I do not have a YouTube channel yet.
Okay.
Instagram. I have
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, hey, in that case, and guys, if you're watching this interview on the live or the replay, all the links Ash mentioned to get connected with her, they will be either right above or below the video. So you can click and just get connected right to her. So Ash, hey, thank you so much for making the time to be here today. Do you have any final thoughts before we end?
Um, Sure. I guess one tip I would give to the audience is, if you're feeling overwhelmed with a task, or if you feel like you're procrastinating, just break the task down into really tiny, really tiny steps. And a good tiny step would be one that would take you almost no willpower to execute. This might sound simple, but really trust me and just try it out, and it really works.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing that piece of advice there. Well, hey, again,
Yeah.
thanks again, and we'll be in touch, okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome.